Welcome back. So now let us create our first layer method. Let's call this as list layers. Let us specify the command method as list layers as well. Okay, so the first thing that we should do is to have a hold of the document object. So to do that, we need to create a variable by using the dim command. Dim doc as document equals application dot document manager dot mdi active document. And the next thing we should do is get hold of the database object. So we can do that by declaring another variable called db as database. That would be equal to the document object that database. Okay, next is to create a transaction. So we can do that by using the using statement. So using trans as transaction, that would be equal to db dot transaction manager, then start transaction. Next, since we are extracting the layers, so we need to declare a layer table variable. So we'll do that by declaring a new variable. Let's just call this as ly tab for layer table. So that would be equal to layer table, which we can get from the transaction object, get object, and the object ID will be coming from the database dot layer table ID. And the second parameter is the mode would be open mode for reading, since we are just reading the layers. Okay, so with this variable that we have, we can now extract all the layers in the drawing. So we can do that by creating a for each loop. So for each let's call this as lyd as object ID in the layer table. So this simply means that for each object ID which we specify as lyd in the layer table in here, we are going to extract the layers. So to do that, same as the block table, we have to create a layer table record. Like in the block table, we create a block table record. So that is the same concept as the layer table record. So we can do that by creating a new variable. Let's just call this as lytr for layer table record as layer table record. And that would be equal to the transaction that get object, and our object ID now would be this lyd, and the open mode would be for reading as well. So now that we have this layer table record in our lytr variable, we can access all the properties and methods of the layer table record. But all we need to do is to display or list all the layers in the command prompt. So we can do that by using the editor object that will be coming from the doc. So basically doc.editor.write message, and we can create here a VB line feed, and we specify the layer name that would be equal to the lytr, this variable here, dot name, and that's it. And we can just commit the transaction. In our previous methods, we created a try-catch block to capture whatever error that we might encounter. So I leave it up to you to create it when you are doing this project. Okay, so let us save our class and let's do a build. Alright, the build is complete, but we have this warning message again. So remember, fixing this, we just have to go to the build menu here, click on configuration manager, and select for the active solution platform. Click on new. We will be using the 64-bit. Okay, and click on OK here. Now we have all the 64-bit in the platform. So we can close this and we can do another rebuild. All those warning messages should now disappear. Alright, one succeeded. So now we can load our plugin into AutoCAD. Let's open up AutoCAD here. Let's type in netload. So let us search for our DLL file. So this is our folder location, layers, line types and styles, and bin folder. Select the x64 and debug, and this is our plugin. Okay. We should now have a list layer. Hold on, I think there is an error here. Unable to load. Okay, let me check this one. Okay, I found the problem. It was an issue with the AutoCAD that was currently open, so I just closed it and I'll open a new one again. Then we can now load our plugin. So this is our plugin from this folder location. Now we should have a method called list layers. Let us try that. There you go. So these are all the layers in this drawing. Layer 0, DB windows, text, lighting, and power, and all this. So if we double check, if we type in layer, these are all the layers. Okay, so with our code, we were able to extract all the layers. All we need to do is get a hold of the layer table, then create a layer table record, and then we loop through the collection of the layer table and assign to the lytr variable, and with this variable name we have access to all these lytr properties. You can even try and list out some of the layer properties, like anything that you want to display. Okay, so I leave it to you to play around with this one. So that's about it for this video. In the next video we will be creating a method to create a layer. I'll see you there.